How is everybody doing today? It is I, your friendly neighborhood Wolfman. It is 4:30 in the afternoon on a Wednesday, April the 5th. April. It's not April. It's August. It's August the 5th. I do know what month it is. Promise. August the 5th, 2020. Just got off work. It is a dry 97 degrees in beautiful sunny southern New Mexico, Roswell to be specific. There are a lot of aliens here, not the green kind. I like my crew, man. I do. I enjoy the crew that I work with. I've been on some great crews. I've been on some shit crews. This particular crew is pretty good. But enough about me and my life. Let's talk about bigger and better things. I've been thinking about philosophy. And the reason that I've come up with this particular philosophy, and it's not mine, man. It's not new, really. It's something that I've kind of come to. I've sort of invented it, but not like that. Like I came up with it for myself, but it already exists. So, I mean, there's nothing new under the sun, right? Especially when it comes to philosophy. I'm sort of just getting on board with a philosophy that already exists. Every time I think I come up with a new idea, shortly after coming up with this new idea, I find out that this idea has existed. Often, I find out that this idea has existed for millennia, and I just never knew about it. I felt like I was thinking of it for myself, when in reality, it's been out there. So this is one of those ideas. The idea is that while it seems quite obvious to our perception that we are individuals and that we are single living organisms, I do not believe this to be the case. I believe that mankind as a whole is a superorganism. I believe that we are all part of a larger thing that certainly includes all of humanity, and quite possibly includes more than that, but certainly all of humanity. We're all connected. We're all one thing. Now, again, the idea that we're all connected, this is not new, but I believe it to be true, and I would like to talk about it. And also, positive things. I think it's good to reinforce yourself with positive things every once in a while. Positive messages, they don't need to be new necessarily. They need to be repeated. Positive messages need to be repeated. But I digress. The point is, we're all connected, right? And now you can think about that as some new age, some spiritual, some woo-woo hippie bullshit. And maybe it is, right? I don't take offense at being called a hippie. I don't think it's necessarily all-encompassing or accurate, but I don't take offense at that term. If someone were to apply it to me, I could see where they're coming from. But that's not the point. You might think it's some hippie bullshit, but also if you like, forget all the spiritual whatever that I believe in, and just look at it from a practical societal sense. All right, you interact with people. I interact with people. Every time we have an interaction, there's a few things going on. Every time you have an interaction with another person, you're either going to make their life better or you're going to make it worse. A little bit, just a little bit. Maybe. I mean, certainly a little bit. Maybe if if you're a real asshole, you're going to make it a lot worse. Maybe if you're just a saint, you're going to make it a lot better. That's possible. But the thing is, when something good happens to you, it puts you in a good mood. And this is fairly universal. When something bad happens to you, it puts you in a bad mood. And this is fairly universal. When there are rules about the way that people behave, I generally think that these rules will be accurate about 80% of people, about 80% of the time. But 20% of people will not follow these rules, and 20% of the time, the 80% that do follow these rules will do something different. Okay? But if you look at large groups of people, 80% of them, 80% of the time, you can predict. Maybe not the individuals. Individuals are very unpredictable, but in large groups, people are fairly predictable. And so I say, with, that much certainty, 80% by 80%, that when people are in a bad mood, they're meaner. And when they're in a good mood, they're nicer. So what does this mean? It means that every time that you're mean to somebody, you have infected them with your bad mood. I had a challenging night, like I mentioned. And this is why I started thinking about this, because I was not in a good mood. Because right after I record my happiness video, right? Like, I believe that happiness is the natural state of the human creature, whatever. And I record this, and then of course immediately the universe is like, oh yeah? Yeah? Happiness is the natural state? What are you going to do about this? Alright, I don't want to get into details about why my night was challenging. Suffice it to say, my sleep was interrupted, and there were some interpersonal issues I had to deal with some people. It's not all of it is my story to tell, so, whatever. But I wake up, I'm showering, and I'm just like, everything that I see is pissing me off. Why is the shower curtain this way? Why does water take so long to warm up? How come? Whatever. I'm just mad about everything. And I'm like, dude, you are about to go out into the world. What kind of person do you want to be? What kind of an effect are you going to have going out into the world with this attitude? You're going to go out there and you're going to be an asshole and you're going to spread this? And I was like, nah, man, that's no good. I can't do this. I don't want other people to feel like this. Because here's what I think. I think, like, most of us are probably familiar with the way that water will run over rocks. And run over rocks and run over rocks for years and years and years. And if you watch the water running over for sorry, I'm having a hard time forming words with my lips at the moment. Red leather, yellow leather. Peter Piper picked a pipe of... I can't do it! Rubber baby buggy bumpers. Water running over rocks. If you watch it for a couple of days, you will see very little. You're not going to see a change, but like over the course of years, you're going to see this water change the shape of these rocks, smooth the edges, and so on and so forth. So, looking at the world, looking at how many people are in the world and how big the problems of the world are, like, am I going to be remembered in history? Honestly, it's a low probability. It's a very low probability that my name's ever going to end up in a fucking history book. seems kind of like it's a diss word, like disheartening, seems kind of discouraging to think about the size of the planet and the amount of power that an individual has. But when you realize that we're all connected, and if I am an asshole to you the next time that we interact, then odds are that's going to put you in a bad mood. I mean, you have the opportunity to stop that, take that little ball of hate that I pass to you and transmute it, and to decide that you're not going to let it affect your mood. Or if you're not, zen enough on that particular day, you don't have the energy to keep it from affecting your mood, at least have the discipline to not turn around and be an asshole to somebody else and to not pass that on. You have that opportunity. But odds are it's going to create a ripple. And I'm going to be an asshole to you, and you're going to be an asshole to somebody else. And eventually, to some degree, that gets passed on to everybody on the planet. Everybody gets affected to some minuscule, barely measurable degree by the fact that I was an asshole in that interaction. Now, people in China aren't going to feel a disturbance in the force, based on me being an asshole to some person, just doing their job that I run into on my day-to-day. Like, oh, you don't have any of these in stock? What's the point of your stupid store? Rah, angry. How dare you? How dare you? But again, we got, on average, a normal person got 60 to 90 years on this planet. How many interactions is that going to be? How many interactions are you going to have with people? How many times are you going to have a chance to have just a tiny effect on the collective vibration, to use some more of my hippie terminology, on just the way that business is done on the planet Earth by human people? How many times are you going to be able to put your 2 cents into that and move it up by a microscopic degree, or move it down by a microscopic degree? Maybe a few times a day, maybe a couple thousand times a year. That's tens of thousands of interactions, if not hundreds of thousands of interactions that you'll have with people over the course of your life. So if you set your intention to say, every time I have an interaction with another human being, I am going to improve that person's experience here on planet Earth, if by whatever degree is practical. Okay, you're given the opportunity, and it costs you nothing to be an asshole or to be a pleasant person to be around. And if you take those 60 to 90 years that you are given and you decide to be pleasant, then I believe that over the course of 90 years or even 60 years, you, one individual person, could have a measurable effect on the overall mood of the entire species in the planet. I don't think that that's unrealistic. I don't. I think that you have that power. I think that every single one of us has the power to create with our entire life. If you can do nothing else, maybe you're not Elon Musk. You're probably not Elon Musk unless you're Elon Musk. As far as I know, there's only one of him. There might be clones. If I was Elon, I'd have clones. I'd have them ready to go. But you're probably not Elon Musk. You might not be able to build a colony on Mars, or build tunnels underneath the Los Angeles to cut down on the traffic, or build the world's best car and cut down on energy. You might not be able to make that kind of change but just because you can't do these huge, monolithic isn't the right word, but it feels feels like that. These enormous, like, individual action changes, like somebody like that, or whatever, the guy that invented the air conditioner. You might not be able to make a huge difference like that, but I swear, if every single one of us, if any one of us wanted to just take their entire life and just be a decent person and just have the discipline to be a decent person in every single one of your interactions, even if you slip up from time to time, if you set that as your goal to, like, every single one of my interactions, I am going to increase the quality of somebody's life. Somebody is going to have a better experience on planet Earth because they ran into me. When they run into me, it's going to make their day better instead of worse. That's going to spread like a virus, like a good virus. And you can do that. And I can do that. I'm planning on doing it. Hopefully, hopefully people that know me feel like they're better off. Even if it's by a microscopic degree. Hopefully, and I believe that that's true. I think people probably, if asked, I think people would probably say that, yeah, they, is it better or worse? If those are the only two options, I'm going to say it's better. I try to be a nice guy, and I think that anybody can do that. And I think that if you do, just like rivers pouring over rocks for, years and years and years, you're eventually going to cut a groove into the energetic or the psychic or the, psychological landscape of society, and you're just going to make the world a nicer place. Why not? Love you guys. Talk to you soon.